Council President Glass, members of the County Council. I'm speaking in opposition to the bill to create a Community Zoning and Land Use Resource Office. The County Council should support refunding the Office of the People's Council as recommended by the County Executive for the second year in a row. Council members, there's a crisis of trust and confidence in Montgomery County. Notwithstanding the very commendable job that the county did in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, it's worth noting some of the events of the last few years that have sullied the reputation of our government in the eyes of residents. The last few years have seen the ouster of the county planning board chair for violation of county rules and policies, and the dismissal of the director of the planning department, the forced resignation of all the members of the planning board, the failure of the planning board to hold a public hearing on the second Thrive Montgomery 2050 draft sent to the council last spring after it was rewritten by the planning board chair, the failure of the planning board to include or even consider the substantive comments of the county's Department of Environmental Protection in the draft planning document, the inexplicable failure to forward hundreds of resident emails to county staff for analysis during the county's revision of the draft planning document, the seeming over-reliance and preferential treatment by the then Fed Committee on policy input from outside development organizations like the Coalition for Smarter Growth in Greater Washington, and the failure of the council as a whole to even publicly discuss the county executive's recommendation for refunding the Office of the People's Council in the FY23 recommended budget. So why at this moment of broad distrust, skepticism, anxiety, and deep concern about the council's engagement with the board committee, why would any of you want to exacerbate this concerning situation by proposing and considering to remove the Office of the People's Council from the county code, especially at a time when a full pipeline of impactful land use and planning measures will soon be proposed by the planning board and come before the county council? This is the time when the community, residents from every part of the county, will need and would benefit from the OPC's technical assistance and advocacy to fully understand and to respond to policy changes that will affect their lives for generations. In its April 17th, 2023 report to the County Council yesterday, the county's Office of Legislative Oversight states clearly that establishing the Friedson-Luedtke bill would widen racial and social inequities in land use in the county and disproportionately benefit white business owners. This was a bad bill in 2016. It's a terrible bill in 2023. My recommendation is to refund the Office of the People's Council. We in the civic community were very heartened when the at-large members of the County Council stated their support for a People's Council in a public forum in June of last year. Councilmember Albernas, Councilmember Glass, Councilmember Jawando, and now Councilmember Sales also they would support this office. A link to that portion of our public forum is now posted on YouTube and on Twitter. If you believe in equity, and you said that you do, you should support the People's Council, which will provide valuable support to many underserved communities throughout the county. The people of Montgomery County need an Office of the People's Council. Thank you.
Thank you.